Welcome to Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the major stories. President Buhari set to flag off third oil field in northern Nigeria. Federal government unveils Federal Public Service Entrepreneurship Program. Plus, Germany sends much-awaited Leopard tanks to Ukraine. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. First in the news, Nigeria's leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, who is set to flag off the third oil field in northern Nigeria. This information was contained in a public announcement by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The oil field is located in Ebenyi at the headquarters of Obi local government area of Nasarawa State. According to reports, it is the second oil field in the north-central region. The first was the Ibaji oil field in Kogi State. In the history of Nigeria's exploration, the Ebenyi oil field is the third in northern Nigeria. The first was Kolomani, located in the Bauchi-Gombe axis. Away from that, the federal government has launched the Federal Public Service Entrepreneurship Program, FPSEP, to prepare workers for life after retirement in Abuja. The head of civil service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade San, said her dream was for the emergence of a skillful and more productive workforce that would contribute meaningfully to the development of the country as employees as well as employers of labor within the provisions of extant rules. Esa, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Service Welfare Office, Dr. Ngozi Onuinde, tasked civil servants to plow the knowledge garnered from their training at the FPSEP into agriculture and other business ventures that would enable them to create multiple sources of income for self-sustenance while in service and after exiting the service. According to her, the Public Service Entrepreneurship Program was developed out of the need to pay greater attention to the welfare of the public servants who constituted the administrative machinery for implementing government policies and programs. In a separate development, the House of Representatives will, on April 11, 2023, grill ministers and other heads of ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government as well as oil companies and banks over the alleged illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil valued at $2.4 billion. The committee, in a notice to the invitees, also demanded memoranda from whistleblowers whose alarm had led to the recovery of public funds from corrupt individuals and organizations. The committee invited 100 individuals, organizations and groups, including the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Group Chief Executive Officer NNPCL, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budgeting, National Planning, Attorney General of the Federation, Director of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Chief Executive, NUPRC, former Chairman, Presidential Committee on Recovery of Missing Crude Oil, former Director General, DSS, Lawal Musa Daura, Department of State Services, Nigeria Police Force, Interpol National Central Bureau, Nigeria, among others. Meanwhile, the chairman of the committee, Mark Gilbert, said that the panel had not been officially inaugurated as Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, was unavoidably absent to declare the hearing open, adding that the inauguration of the committee will hold on the 11th of April. Away from that, barely 24 hours to the deadline given by the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) for the federal government to end the currency and petrol scarcity in the country, the leadership of the Labour movement has summoned a meeting of its National Executive Committee today to assess the situation and decide whether to proceed with the national protest or not. Reports say the NLC intends to brief the media and members of the public on plans for the picketing of CBN offices nationwide, scheduled to begin on Wednesday. According to reports, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, and the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, at a meeting held at the conference room of the Labour Ministry, explained to the Labour leaders that efforts have been made to alleviate the currency scarcity across the country. Recall that the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, had met yesterday with the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele to avert the impending nationwide protest by the workers. In another development, the National Population Commission has said it had put up measures to guard against all forms of malpractices ahead of the forthcoming population and housing census. The Commission also stressed that citizens living away from their states of origin do not need to travel to home for the purpose of the exercise. It said people would be enumerated at their places of residence. The spokesperson for the commission, Isiaka Yahaya, said this in an interview with newsmen. Yahaya added that the commission had not finished the recruitment process for enumerators. Moving on to electoral matters, the Nigeria Police Force has said it recorded a total of 489 major electoral infractions during the February 25th presidential and March 18 governorship polls. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, made the disclosure during a meeting with senior police officers at the Goodluck Jonathan Peacekeeping Center, Force Headquarters, Abuja. At the meeting were Deputy Inspectors General of Police, Assistant Inspectors General of Police, Commissioners of Police, and other members of the force management team. While noting that the culprits will be persecuted, Baba said the police force will effectively collaborate with the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission in ensuring that all the electoral offenders are expeditiously and transparently prosecuted, not only in the interest of criminal justice delivery, but in furtherance of their vision to sanitize the nation's democratic space.
Nobody, regardless of political persuasion, background, or influence, should place his or her personal interests above national interests. Accordingly, while admonishing all political actors and their followers to submit to democratic norms, peaceful means, and legal procedure in advancing their interests or seeking redress for their political concerns, I must firmly warn that the Nigeria Police and other security agencies shall not tolerate the resort to incitement or any act designed to threaten our national security. They are therefore advised in the strongest possible terms to henceforth draw back on current attempts to engender tension within the national security space to avoid attracting appropriate law enforcement response. In regard to this, feedbacks so far received across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT indicates that a total of 489 major electoral infractions, leading to the arrest of a total of 781.
Away from that, former United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said that the bandits and terrorists in Nigeria will be defeated. Johnson made the statement at the 16th session of the Emmanuel Osigwe Lecture Series, which held in Lagos. The former Prime Minister, who was the guest speaker for the session, stated that for a country to function properly and unleash its potential, no one must be seen to be above the law, adding that Nigeria is in need of freedom, security, democracy, openness and tolerance to achieve urban success, deliver equality, and unleash its potential. Now to Africa, where Vice President Kamala Harris, while in Ghana at the start of her three-nation tour of Africa, has announced $100 million to support the fight against Islamist militants in West Africa. Harris said that her visit to Ghana was not because of China's influence in Africa, but rather to strengthen bilateral ties with its partners. According to reports, the coastal countries of Ghana, Benin, Ivory Coast and Togo are to benefit from the package. Recall that the region has been facing security threats from the ever-advancing jihadists operating in the Sahel. Still in Africa, Chadian President Mohamed Idris has pardoned 259 people out of the 262 jailed in December during deadly confrontations between police and protesters in the capital of N'Djamena. Reports say they had been convicted for offenses including unauthorized assembly, destruction of property, arson, violence and assault during the clashes in which 73 people died. Meanwhile, the presidential pardon comes days after 380 rebels sentenced to life imprisonment for the death of former ruler Idris Deby, the current president's father, received the peace gesture. The late Idris Deby, who ruled the country for 30 years, died during an operation against rebels in 2021. On the foreign scene, German Defense Ministry says the first shipment of Leopard 2 tanks from Germany has been sent to Ukraine. Reports say 18 cutting-edge main battle tanks were delivered after Ukrainian crews were trained to use them. Also, Ukraine Challenger 2 tanks from the UK have also arrived. Meanwhile, Germany's Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said he was sure the tanks could make a decisive contribution on the front lines of the war. Recall that Ukraine has been calling for more modern vehicles and weapon systems for months to help fight Russia's invasion.
The answer to your question is yes, we delivered Leopard tanks as we announced.
En daarmee blijft ook die Europese boodschap, ook na ruim een jaar, volstrekt duidelijk. Namelijk, wij steunen Oekraïne op alle terreinen en dat doen we zolang het nodig is. Gewijzigd om dat mogelijk te maken. Wij houden natuurlijk samen met onze NAVO-bondgenoten die situatie heel precies in de gaten. Maar het is ook echt retoriek. En Rusland weet dat de gevolgen enorm zullen zijn als zij gebruik zouden maken van dat soort wapens. Dat heeft ook de Amerikaanse National Security Advisor.
Still on the foreign scene, at least 16 people have reportedly died in a landslide that buried entire families under mud and rubble in a mountain village in Ecuador. Reports say firefighters, police and specialized rescue teams have been dispatched to the Catan of Alauce in the Andes Mountains to search for trapped residents. Ecuador government said 6 people have been pulled alive from the mud and at least 7 were still missing, while more than a dozen have been injured. Meanwhile, footage uploaded earlier by the police showed people using torches and spotlights to search for survivors amid the surrounding darkness. Ecuador's President Guillermo Lasso said the country's risk management agency had been alerted and would be providing help to those affected. Still to come in the news. Nigeria beats Guinea-Bissau 1-0 in AFCON qualifier roundup. Do stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. In business, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, has said that efforts to address identified lapses in the existing Bankruptcy Act would commence with a national conference on bankruptcy and debt collection in May. Adebayo made the statement at the third Trade Negotiation Skills TNS simulation course, which was organized by the Nigerian Office for Trade Negotiations (NOTN) in collaboration with the Overseas Development Institute (ODI) and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office (FCDO) of the United Kingdom. The minister pointed out that the move, which was in line with the Trade Policy Action Plan 2022 to 2026 of the federal government, would help to develop an institutional and regulatory framework to regulate business behavior and ensure that only viable concerns continue to operate, adding that the new framework would also include the establishment of debt collection offices in the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT. He noted that part of the objectives was to contribute to the creation of a modern 21st century credit economy for the benefit of producers, retailers, and consumers in the country, disclosing that work had been concluded on the Nigerian templates for free trade agreements (FTAs) and mutual recognition agreements (MRAs) for standards and professional qualifications. Still in business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) says it has released 418 million liters of petrol between the 18th of March and the 24th, according to new data from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA). 59 million liters of the product were evacuated daily, even as year-to-date daily average remained at 64.94 million liters during the period. However, the data indicates that between March 4 and the 24th, a total of 1.46 billion liters of petrol were evacuated to states, and the top receiving states during the period were Lagos, where 1,957 trucks were dispatched, the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) with 550 truckloads, while Delta received 508 trucks of the product. In health, Nigeria is set to tackle diphtheria with 150,000 euro gift from the European Union. In a statement issued by the delegation of the European Union to Nigeria and the Economic Community of West African States, the allocation was in response to the significant increase in diphtheria cases recorded since the beginning of 2023 in Nigeria. Reports say the humanitarian fund will assist the most affected communities. Kano, Katsina, Lagos, and Osun State. Recall that on January 20th, 2023, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention officially declared an outbreak of diphtheria in Kano and Lagos states after several suspected cases appeared a month earlier. Still in health, Bauchi State has reportedly recorded 7,806 cases of tuberculosis in 2022. The Executive Secretary, Bauchi State Agency for the Control of HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, leprosy, and malaria. Sani Mohammed said this at a news conference in Bauchi. Mohammed, who was represented by the Commissioner for Health, Sabiu Gwalbe, at the news conference stated that the figure was an increase of 2,154 over the 5,652 recorded in 2021, adding that the state government, in collaboration with implementing partners such as Breakthrough Action Nigeria, was conducting active case findings across Bauchi State. He, however, noted that the 2023 World Tuberculosis Day would be celebrated with a series of phone-in television and radio programs to increase awareness. In sports, Nigeria yesterday defeated Guinea-Bissau 1-0 in Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers after losing 3 days ago to the country in Abuja, while Algeria edged Niger to book a final place. Moses Simon was the Nigerian scorer in the victory in Bissau, converting a 30th minute penalty after Fali Kande fouled Bright Osayi Samuel. Simon fired the sports kick into the right corner of the net as goalkeeper Jonas Mendes dived in the opposite direction. Meanwhile, Algeria made hard work of defeating Niger with a 6-minute Baghdad Boundije goal, producing a 1-0 win near Tunis. Algeria has 12 points in Group F and are assured of a top 2 finish and qualification for the finals next January and February. Then in sports, the Republic of Ireland made a losing start to Euro 2024 qualifying as Benjamin Pavart's superb second-half goal gave France victory in Dublin. Having held the French in the first half of few chances, the Republic fell behind 5 minutes after the restart when Pavard intercepted a Josh Cullen pass and fired past Gavin Basdunu. The Republic put the beaten World Cup finalists under severe pressure late on but fell short as Mike Maigdan's stunning save denied Nathan Collins a late leveler. The Republic's next qualifier sees them travel to Greece on the 16th of June. On our entertainment news, Nigerian international music stars Wizkid and Tems have both won an award at the 2023 iHeartRadio Awards. Reports say the duo who delivered the international hits Essence shared the Best Afrobeat Artist award, defeating other Afrobeat stars like CK, Fireboy and Burna Boy to take home the award. Tems, who is said to have won the Best Hip-Hop Song for her contributions to Future's Weight, was also nominated for Best R&B Song for her hit single, Free Mind. Meanwhile, the 2023 iHeartRadio Awards was held at the Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles, California, and it was hosted by Lenny Kravitz. In entertainment, Nigerian film director and producer Biodun Stephen has shared an update on the sequel to the 2020 comedy drama Introducing the Kujus. The filmmaker took to her Instagram page to announce the return of the movie with a poster of the sequel titled The Kujus Again. The official poster shows it will have returning characters like Bisola Ayola, Tamini Ebusin, Kunle Remi and Bimbo Ademoye, and will feature new additions like Marvin Records boss Don Jazzy and Bibi Naija reality star Lilo Aderongba. The movie is set for release on the 21st of April 2023 in cinemas. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyeka, and thanks for watching and to enjoy the rest of your day.